What do you think about right off the bat, collapsing time?
What do what do I think about it?
What do you think about it? Is it a
Well, I think time doesn't exist in it's in our minds, and it's a way of keeping cause and effect separate from each other. So as we forgive, as we bring things to the light of forgiveness, time literally collapses, but it's actually just returns our mind to the singular moment of reality. There, yeah, I didn't know I was going to say that, but
I did
yeah.
not know you were going to say that.
So
However,
it's
i- if I could consciously collapse time, I'd go back and predict that you were going to say that.
yeah. Okay. And then what?
That would just be a party trick.
So time in very simple terms, and I think I talked about this the first time we chatted, is the idea of separating cause and effect and creating this gap between which can't exist. And as you know, as we forgiveness undoes that idea. Time collapses into this sweet moment. Yeah.
What does that say about the world? In a world that runs by time, has a creation timeline, uh, with time not existing, what does it say about the world?
Well, the world you're talking about is not exist. It doesn't exist apart from you. So I mean, I don't know. So your experience of a world is not my experience of a world. Is not Joe's or not Sally's or not whatever. What does it say about the world? In other words, so I don't know. Well, I don't understand the question, I guess.
Um,
What
we've been having
it's
some
not that,
deep.
and not that I have the answer either, by the way. I
Right,
reserve the right to have any answers,
sure. Um,
please.
that you know, time seems to be very intrinsic to the world, and so in the absence of time, um, what I guess because
There is no
we've been taking
world. There is no world
right,
in the absence of time.
and we've been taking some deep dives into the metaphysics lately, and the that seems to be one of the hardest things for many to grasp, that there is no world,
Right.
although the course says explicitly,
Yeah, several places.
yeah, even
Yeah.
uses exclamation points that
I think the yes. I think the simplest way that I could look at it would be the world that I've imagined does not exist. And the laws that I imagine the world is ruled by do not exist. And the key one is that the world is actually a cause of anything, and it's not. My mind, my thoughts, I am the cause. God is the cause. My inner world is the cause of the outer world, without exception. And
right,
so, but I've set it up in a way where I tend to feel defensive about the world. Um, I think it is happening to me, and I think it needs to be negotiated with, or whatever we do with it. But the basic law is that it happens here first. That the world is an outer expression of an inner condition, actually, and nothing out there has causation, and there is no out there. It's your mind,
right.
right?
So a world of effects.
The world, it's just an effect, right? Yep, yep. And my meaningless thoughts show me a meaningless world, and God did not create a meaningless world, and therefore a meaningless world does not exist. Any questions?
No, but I always love the progression of that, because I
Right.
remember metaphorically stubbing my toe on um, that you know those first couple, when I'm literally told that I'm experiencing a meaningless world because of my meaningless thoughts. Uh, And I thought, well, this is not good news at all. Um, I had not considered my thoughts being meaningless. I thought
Right,
they were of the greatest value, and the mistake, the problem, was everyone
yeah,
didn't cherish and value my meaningful thoughts the same way that I did.
right. So what's great about that for what I comes to my mind when you're talking about that is that you've just opened the bag of what there is to forgive.
Right?
Your personal assignment, bag of assignments that yeah, yeah,
I love that imagery. Bag of assignment.
the bag of assignments, right. It's my meaning mostly what I think in any way, and I may change my mind any minute. There's no religion to hang your hat on here. Is the my meaning? It's really my meaningless thoughts about myself and what I am. It's not the meaningless thoughts about the world, although that would be a projection. That would be an outcome of that. It's really my meaningless thoughts about what I think I am and where I am and what I am doing and what I need and what can happen. What not, and that my meaningless thoughts that the end is somehow unsure. That somehow there's some you know un yeah, unsure. I'll just say it like that. There's so much uncertainty and fear with the idea that the end is unsure. And I say the end of the world, the end of illusion.
Right. I brought up the
Um,
online course. For those in the chat who might be hearing Russell and I talking about our meaningless thoughts, um, that these are the early workbook lessons of the course,
yeah,
and they do sound rough. They do sound uh, pessimistic and almost um, uh,
an attack.
yeah.
Yeah,
But it
yeah,
doesn't take long until we're start to be given um, the great secret that, as you said, God did not create a meaningless world.
right. And so this world I've imagined that seems to have be meaningless or that and chaotic is of my own making, of my own imagination. It's an effect of my confusion about myself. And the core, since we're, I mean, the course is basically a correction of that. Should you be willing to accept it,
Right.
you know? And in being corrected, you become useful somehow to uh, to the divine in bringing peace. Um,
I
yeah,
like the thought essential.
essential.
Right. You are essential
Right.
for God's plan for salvation. You are.
It's true.
And that's isn't that amazing to consider all those years that both you and I spent uh, with addiction because we didn't
Yeah.
have that sense of self-worth. And we come to the realization, and an actual realization, that we are essential for God's plan for salvation.
Right. Right. Your my particular bag of assignments need to be dealt with, so to speak. I don't know what word to use. And you have your bag.
Right.
And um, I've yeah, yeah, there's another word for it. But I gosh, I don't know what the word is. But yeah, you have a specific your what you have to deal with, and usually it's around family, to be honest with you. I was thinking about this the other day. There's a tendency to be focused on world events. And and have upset about this and an upset about that. And I think that's a diversion of the ego to take you away from the real meat, which is your family.